Okay. Yan. This is our third to the last lecture. We will discuss about mutual inductance, self-inductance, and then magnetic field energy. Okay. So, last time, natapos natin yung Maxwell equation. Actually, yung Maxwell equation, yun dapat yung end ng electromagnetism. Pero, yun dapat yung end ng magnetism tas start ng optics. But, I think yung lectures kasi ng Physics 72, sinusundan si Young and Friedman, si University Physics, which is, I really don't like. But well, yun. So, meron pa tayong mga kailangan i-discuss sa magnetism part, which is inductance. Actually, more on circuits part na rin to. Pero most of this, medyo nakita nyo na before. Okay. First, let's recall yung force between two parallel conductors. So, if you recall from your lecture 18.2 or 18 part 2, two infinitely long wires that carries current will exert force on each other. They will attract if the currents are in the same direction, shown here, or repel kapag naman opposite yung direction. Okay? So, mag-attract sila, same direction, opposite, repel. Okay? Now, the question, what if we replace these wires with coils? And what happens if there's a time-varying current in one of the coils? Okay. So, take note lang. So, eto siya. Okay. So, kung may dalawang coil, so sabihin natin ito yung coil 1, ito yung coil 2, okay? Tapos, parehas may current, parehas silang may current, ano kaya mangyayari? Actually, sa scenario na to, wala pa mangyayari. Kasi, yung solenoid or yung coils, ang magnetic field nasa loob, right? Yung magnetic field na uniform nasa loob. So, yung magnetic field nito, uniform sa loob. Tapos outside, 0, right? So, if you recall, so 0 yung magnetic field outside. So, kung ganito yung setup ng dalawang coils, walang mangyayari. Okay. So, better, ang gawin nating setup is, better na gawin nating setup, meron tayong coil. Sorry, pangit ko mag-drawing. Clear, yeah. Yeah. So, may coil tayo. Tapos, yung second coil, ilagay natin sa loob. Okay? This way, so meron tayong dalawang coil. This way, kapag naglagay tayo na ng current dun sa outer coil, so may current dito sa outer coil, right? So may current dyan. Then, mag-exert ngayon siya ng magnetic field sa loob. Tapos yung magnetic field sa loob, mararamdaman din nung secondary coil. Okay? So, whenever there's a current in the first coil, it will now generate a magnetic field inside so that yung secondary coil na nasa loob niya makakaramdam ng magnetic field. Okay. So again, take note, yung first coil, yung outer coil lang yung nakakonect sa kuryente. Nakakonect siya sa circuit. Okay. Yung secondary coil, hindi siya nakakonect sa anything. Okay. Hindi siya nakakonect. So ganyan yung magiging setup natin in this case. So, here's now the scenario. So, meron tayong coil 1. Ito yung outer coil. Siya yung may current. Siya yung nakakonect sa kuryente. And then, coil 2. Ito yung nasa loob. So, hindi siya nakakonect. Now, if constant yung current, if constant tong current na to, tong current na, sabihin natin, if constant tong current na kay coil 1, walang change in current, right? So, constant. So, yung change in current is 0. Yung change in the magnetic flux inside, 0 din. Right? But, if nagkaroon ka na ng change in current, kapag itong current na to changing, so sabihin natin parang yung mga sine or cosine function, so nag-change siya over time, right? Then, magkakaroon ka ng changing magnetic field sa loob and a changing magnetic flux. Okay? So, si coil 2, makakaramdam ngayon siya ng changing magnetic flux. And whenever there's a changing magnetic flux, okay, whenever there's a change in magnetic flux, so kung meron kang d phi dt, right, we can use Faraday's law, right? So, we can use yung Faraday's law. So, if there's a changing current, this will induce or influence a changing magnetic flux on the inner coil, and thus, pwede tayong mag-Faraday's law. Ano yung magnetic flux induced doon sa second coil? That will be proportional to the magnetic field from the first coil. Okay? Pero yung magnetic field ng first coil, ito lang yan. Yung magnetic field ng solenoid, which is mu naught Ni. So the Faraday's law states that the changing magnetic flux will induce an EMF on the second coil. Okay? So how does a time varying current flow through coil 1 affect coil 2? So first, there's a changing current, may di1 dt ka. Okay? This will produce a changing magnetic field, dB dt. And then the magnetic field B should be proportional to this I1. Okay? Some of the field lines, as we can see from the figure, will pass through both coil 1 and coil 2 kasi nga nasa loob yung coil 2. Okay? So this will cause a change in the magnetic flux na nararamdaman ni coil 2, and so the changing magnetic flux will induce an EMF on the coil 2. Okay? So itong phi B2 na to, ito ay phi B2 induced. Phi B2 induced. Induced by I1. So induced by I1. Okay? Yan, malinaw yan. Okay? And then we can use Faraday's law to get that EMF induced or yung phi B2 induced. Okay? So let's focus that here. And now we define a proportionality constant called the mutual inductance. So M21. This is the mutual inductance on 2 by 1. Mutual inductance by coil 2 due to the current in coil 1. Okay? So we can define that like this. Okay? So now let's start with this. Take the time derivative of this mutual inductance. So kunin natin yung derivative over time ng both sides. Okay? So if we take the time derivative of both sides, sa left-hand side, hindi naman nagpabago yung number of turns. So constant naman yan. So lalabas lang to sa derivative. We just have the derivative of phi B2, which is just your negative epsilon. Tama? From Faraday's law. Sa kabila, yung M21, sinet natin as some constant, just some mutual inductance constant. So lalabas din siya sa derivative. So may iwan sa kabila ay yung di1 dt. Okay. Tapos yung negative na to, ilagay natin sa kabila. Then we can now get yung E2. Ito yung E2 induced. And yung E2 induced equals negative M21. Yan. M21 di1 dt. So, mukha na siya ulit na Faraday's law. So, this is the Faraday's law for two coils. Okay? So, kapag si current ay nakay coil 1, then si current yung coil 1, ito yung 1, siya yung may coil 1, siya yung 1, tapos yung epsilon 2, yung 2 ay yung secondary coil. Okay? So, kung na kanino yung current, yun yung gagawin yung coil 1. Kung nasaan wala yung current, yun yung gagawin yung coil 2. Okay? Doon siya may induce. So, this changing current will induce an EMF sa coil 2 by this much. Where M21, itong M21 na to, yung constant na yan, is defined by this. Okay? So, that is your mutual inductance. Okay? Malinaw? Malinaw yan? Ay, ano ba yan? Okay. So, we have that. So, that is your mutual, that is your equivalent Faraday's law. And the mutual inductance is just this. Okay? Now, by the same argument, kung si coil 2 naman, again, kung si coil 2 yung may current, sabihin natin, palitan lang natin yung index. Okay? Palitan natin yung index, baliktarin natin. Then, kung si coil 2 yung may changing current, then siya naman yung mag-i-induce kay coil 1. Okay? By the same amount. By the same amount. So, actually, itong mga to, yung mga indices, babalik rin mo lang, yung 2 magiging 1, yung 1 magiging 2. Okay? So, yun lang. So, this is the mutual inductance by 1 on 2. This is the mutual inductance on 2 by 1 on 1 by 2. Okay? So, ganun lang palagi. Kung na kanino yung current, yun yung nandito. Tapos, yung nandito sa left-hand side, yun yung may induce on the other coil. Okay? On the other coil. Just take note, iba to. So, yung mutual inductance talks about kung kanino na induced over the source. Okay? Induced over the source. Induced over the source. Okay? Ito ang source natin ay si I1. Ito ang source ay si I2. So, ganun lang. Okay? Now, it turns out, even if the coils are not symmetric, kahit na hindi siya concentric, so kahit na off-center yung gitna, right? So, parang may isang coil ka dyan, tapos may isang coil dito. Or, even if square yung nasa loob, or square yung nasa labas, hindi sila parehas circular. So, even if hindi symmetric, yung dalawang mutual inductance, parehas lang. Okay? So, we can just write the mutual inductance as this, which is yung induced, ito yung induced, yung nasa taas, okay, over the source. Ito naman dalawa na sa baba, ito naman ay source. Okay? So, kung ang source ay si I1, may induce siya sa taas, so yung mutual inductance mo should be N2 phi B2. Okay? Kung ang source mo ay si I2, yung nasa taas should be yung induce, kung kanino siya may induce, kung kanino siya may influence, N1 phi B1. Okay? Tapos, yung induced EMF, ganun din. So, ito naman, source yung nasa right-hand side, nasa left-hand side yung induce. So, source, induce, source, induce. Okay? So, ganun lang. Okay? So, these are your mutually induced EMF. So, mukha siyang Faraday's law, right? And for any two coils, yung M na yon should be equal. Okay? Mag-iiba lang yung M kapag hindi na sila, kapag iba yung material actually ng isa. Pag may dielectric or magnetic material, etc. Okay? So, these are now your important formulas for mutual inductance. Okay? Questions? May question? Naintindihan naman yung mutual inductance. Okay. Okay, thank you. So, okay. So, let's push. If gusto niyo malaman ano yung SI unit, Henrys, right? So, Henrys or 1 Weber per ampere. Now, if the coils are in vacuum, again, M is constant kasi kung ang tawag dito, kung meron kang magnetic material, kung dielectric, so hindi na in vacuum, di ba? Hindi na constant yung M. So, may something kappa and kappa M ka na. Right? And you might notice that the inductance is also geometry dependent. Okay? So, if you remember, your resistance, diba? We define yung resistance. So, for the resistors, meron tayong Ohm's law. Right? Meron tayong Ohm's law. Ito yung governing law for the circuit. But the resistance or yung resistivity actually geometry dependent, right? I think L over sigma D. Sigma D. Di ko maalala. Pero geometry dependent siya. Dependent dun sa length ng wire. Okay? Saka yung resistivity ng wire. Right? Tapos, for the capacitance, yung capacitors naman natin, meron tayong Q over V. Q over V. Pero yung definition natin ng capacitance, so ito yung ginagamit natin sa circuits. Pero yung definition ng capacitance, geometry dependent din. So, N E naught A over B. May A yata ito dapat dito. Hindi ko maalala. Anyway. Now, for the inductor or inductance, so yung mga inductors naman natin, so, inductors. Kaya nga siya inductor, induce, nag-i-induce. Okay? So, yung inductors naman natin, we have this as your definition. Tapos, yung governing law na ginagamit natin for circuits is yung tawag dito, Faraday's law. Right? Okay? So, kung mutual inductance, magiging M lang yan. Kung maraming coil, ay maraming turns, magkakaroon ka lang ng N dito. Right? So, Faraday's law. And then, yung definition ng inductance, at least yung mutual inductance, will be this. Right? So, makita nyo, lahat ng to, geometry dependent. Dependent siya sa length ng wire, dependent sa distance between or something kung saan kinukuha, dependent sa number of turns, etc. Sa shape, sa orientation, separation between coils. So, lahat ng yon ay important sa pag-define or pag-measure ng resistance, capacitance, at inductance. Okay? So, yun. So, lahat ng components na ginagamit natin, geometry dependent. Okay? So, again, constant lang yung M. Kapag may kinetic material, ay magnetic material, then, pwedeng hindi maging constant yung M. Lalo na kung mga non-linear na magnetic material. Sa mga superconductors, etc. Okay? For example, sa Tesla coils, okay, yung mga Tesla coils or high voltage generators, usually ganito yung build nila. So, meron kang long solenoid. Meron kang very, very long solenoid. Ito. Okay, this one. Tapos, meron siyang length L and 1 turns, cross-sectional area A. And then, maglalagay ka sa labas. So, ito naman sa labas. Okay? Nasa labas naman yung N2 natin. So, nasa labas naman yung N2. Ang question is finding the mutual inductance. Ano yung mutual inductance ng dalawang coil? Okay? So, these two coils, if yung current na kay I1, na kay N1, so nandito yung current, then mag-i-induce siya ng magnetic flux and EMF dito kay coil 2. Okay? So, let's see, ano yung field of the solenoid? So, this is mu naught N1 I1, where N is your turn density. But you know that this is N1 over L. Okay? And this magnetic field, so, nasa loob yan nung inner solenoid. But since nasa loob din yan nung outer solenoid, kung saan tayo naghahanap ng mutual inductance, maapektuhan niya pa rin yung outer solenoid. Right? So, maapektuhan niya pa rin. Kasi dumadaan pa rin siya sa loob din nung outer solenoid. Okay? And now, yung mutual inductance will now be this. So, again, this is the induced over the source. Induced over the source. Yung phi B2 is induced. This is an induced magnetic flux. So, yung na-induce na magnetic flux kay coil 2 should be due to the magnetic field from coil 1. Kaya B1A1. So, this is B1A1. Okay. So, plug in natin to, yung B1 dito. So, magka-cancel yung mga current and we get this. So, now we see more kung bakit geometry dependent talaga yung mutual inductance. So, here yung mutual inductance dependent lang talaga sa area, cross-sectional area, yung number of turns ng dalawang coil, tapos yung length ng isang coil, ng source. Okay? So, mas obvious yung dependence sa geometry. And again, kung hindi linear yung kung hindi constant yung magnetic material, yung kappa sub M, di ba? So, ito magiging mu, right? Yung kappa sub M mu naught. So, kung hindi constant si kappa sub M, hindi rin constant si M. So, we just assume na constant yung kappa sub M. Okay. Malinaw? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, we have this mutual inductance, the other definition, which is yung geometry-dependent definition. Okay. Again, this area, A1 yan dapat. So, area of coil 1. Area of the source. So, let's provide a more concrete example. Suppose we have a solenoid that is 10 centimeters long and diameter of 0.4 centimeters with a turns of 800. Okay? And then we wound a second coil with 50 turns around the solenoid at its center. What is the mutual inductance of the combination of two coils? So we have here, ito yung source. We have a length equals 10 cm, diameter, so D1, L1, D1 is 4 cm, 0.4 cm, N1 is 800 turns, and N2 is 50 turns. So meron tayong ganyan. And then it's just a matter of plug and play. Okay. So mutual inductance should be now this. Okay. So, hindi given yung current, so hindi natin gagamitin yung may current definition. Right? So, ito yung gagamitin natin. So, alam kasi natin yung N1, N2, yung area, makukuha natin from the diameter. Kung circular coil naman siya, so pi r squared lang yun. Or pi times d over 2 squared. Plug in our values, and then we get this. Okay. So, medyo plug and play lang yung mutual inductance. Okay. Now, what if yung current naman yung given? So, what if yung current or yung rate of current naman yung given? So, here we have two coils with a given mutual inductance. Tapos, given yung source, yung rate ng change of the source. Kaya siya rate of change kasi amperes per second. So, ddt na siya. Right? So, tanong, ano yung induced EMF? And ano yung, suppose baliktad, what is the magnitude of the induced EMF in the first coil? So, let's see. So, to get yung induced EMF in the second coil, so alam natin yung M, di/dt, we just use yung Faraday's law. Pero since magnitude lang ang tinatanong, so magnitude lang, ayan, magnitude, right? Magnitude. So, absolute value na lang natin. Kasi yung negative sa Faraday's law, again, it's just for the direction. Okay? Parang Lenz's law. It's just for the direction. So, we plug in our values, we get this. And it's a constant. Okay? Suppose this change in current is in the second coil instead. So, baliktad naman. So, ang ma-induce naman kay coil 1, actually, same lang. And it's also constant. Okay? Okay. So, some conceptual questions. So, if an ideal solenoid carries a current I, and then another solenoid is wrapped around the first, resulting at a mutual inductance M. If the current in the first solenoid is doubled, what is the total magnetic flux on the second solenoid? So again, mutual inductance, hindi siya nagbabago. Right? So what is the total magnetic flux? So, kung mutual inductance din nagbabago, ang hinahanap lang ay magnetic flux. Right? So, ito actually, ilalagay mo lang doon. Right? Tapos mag-twice daw to. So, yung 5B1 will just be, ay joke lang, 5B2 pala yung nahanap, second solenoid. So 5B2, actually ito lang yun. Tapos magiging twice lang yung I1. 5B2 will just be 2M I1. So 2MI yung sagot. Okay? So hindi maapektuhan yung M. Si I yung nag-double. Okay? So si I yung nag-double. Next. So, ganun pa rin, may mutual inductance M. If the current in the first solenoid is doubled, what is the resulting mutual inductance? Dapat M pa rin. Okay? So, again, mutual inductance is independent of the current. Okay? Malinaw? Clear? Clear yun? Clear naman. Questions? May questions ba? Pwede kayo mag-raise ng hand. Or mag-chat kung may question. Okay? Okay. So, kung wala, let's move on to another type of inductance, which is self-inductance. So, ito naman, whenever yung solenoid, nilagay mo sa loob ng isang circuit, kinonect mo sa circuit, so, meron ka ng current, So, may current na dadaan dito, right? So, may current. Tapos dadaan siya pa gano'n, then bababa. Okay? So, may current dyan, magkakaroon ngayon siya ng magnetic field, yung blue lines. Okay? Inside. And then, once it generates a magnetic field, mag-generate siya ng self-inductance. Mag-i-induce siya sa sarili niya. Okay? So, yun naman yung self-inductance. Okay? So, any circuit that carries a changing current will have an EMF induced on itself. Okay? And will occur only in any closed circuit. Again, kung wala namang hindi closed yung circuit, so walang dadaan na current, hindi magbabago yung current, hindi magbabago yung magnetic flux. Right? So, wala ka may induce. Okay? So, bakit may na-induce na EMF? Dahil sa Faraday's law and Lenz's law. So, in this scenario, meron tayong magnetic field going in that direction. If the current is increasing, so ganun din yung direction ng current, right? So, ganito rin yung direction ng current. Okay. If the current is increasing, i-retain natin yung, so magra-right hand rule tayo ngayon. So, Lenz's law or Faraday's law. So, we first put our magnetic field or our thumb on the direction of the magnetic field, right? If the current is increasing, that means the magnetic field is increasing. So, we retain that right hand rule. So, yung thumb, dito pa rin naka-point. But by Lenz's law, any change in the current, ang direction dapat will be opposite nung change na yon. So, dapat baliktarin mo. Okay? So, ito ngayon yung direction ng induced, self-induced EMF. Okay? Now, in the same scenario, kapag naman, let's say, okay, so ganyan pa rin yung direction ng current, but the current is now decreasing. So, kung decreasing naman yung current, so we have here our magnetic field and magnetic flux. Kung decreasing yung current, so bumababa yung current, then balik rin natin yung right hand rule. So, magpo-point tayo ngayon dito. And then by Lenz's law, balik rin ulit natin para makuha yung direction ng self-induced. Okay? Tapos later on, pagdating natin sa mga LC circuits, etc., may kita natin bakit important tong Lenz's law. Kung bakit kailangan important na ino-oppose niya yung change in the current. May kita natin yan. Okay. So, for now, let's just define ano yung self-inductance. It's just this. Okay. L times N phi B over I. So, medyo similar naman siya ng form dun sa mutual inductance. Yung mutual inductance lang kasi, dalawa yung form niya dahil ano siya, induced over the source. So, if this is the induced, ito yung source. Okay? But here, since self-induced siya yung induced, siya rin yung source. Okay? So, hindi mo kailangan ng numbers. Okay? So, this is your mutual inductance. This is your self-inductance. So, same lang sila ng form. Pero hindi mo kailangan ng numbers sa self-inductance. Hindi mo kailangan ng mga subscript. Okay? So, since the current I in the circuit changes, then we take the time derivative. Yung I, ilagay natin dito. Then, take the time derivative. From Faraday's law, ito na yung self-induced EMF. Okay? So, same lang. So, yung mutual inductance, negative M di1 dt, di ng source. So, di ng source. Right? So, yun yung epsilon 2 or epsilon 1 kung di ano. So, sabihin ko na lang di ng source. Di ng source. So, same lang naman yung form ng mga Faraday's law. Okay. Questions so far? Questions ba? Okay naman yun. Okay. Okay. Let's continue. So, yung direction again, applyan lang natin ng Lenz's law. So, the negative sign implies that the EMF self-induced should oppose the current, the change in the current. Okay? So, actually, itong mga ganito, ito yung itsura nila. So, ito yung mga coil na tightly wound, ideally. Ideally yan, na tightly wound. So, ang tawag sa kanila, inductors. So, they have a self-inductance. So, kung nagme-measure kayo ng inductance ng isang inductor sa lab, actually, self-inductance yung name-measure nyo. Okay? Merong mga inductors na mutual inductance yung name-measure, pero kasi masyadong malalaki. So, pag may nakita kayo ng malaking inductor, ibig sabihin, usually, mutually inducted sila. May isa ka pang coil sa loob na hindi mo nakikita. Okay? Pero yun, malalaki yung mga ganong type ng inductors. Okay? So, pag maliliit lang, usually self-inductance lang siya. Okay? Of course, yung symbol sa circuit diagrams is a coil. So, mukhang coil. Okay? So, now let's try to connect that coil in a circuit. Okay? So, here we have a variable source of EMF. So, hindi siya direct current. So, ibig sabihin, hindi constant yung voltage. So, yung voltage source should be changing. Okay? So, changing. So, parang pwedeng sine to, pwedeng cosine, etc. Para nag-i-increase, nagdi-decrease. Okay. Let's say we have that variable source of EMF. Okay? So, yung sign ng variable source ay ganyan sa circuit diagram. So, how does an inductor respond in the presence of this changing current? Okay. Now, if you recall, pwede tayo mag-Faraday's law. Okay? We can just use Faraday's law. Epsilon equals, ano yun? Negative, epsilon equals negative L di dt. Okay? And if you remember, this epsilon is in voltage. Voltage unit. So actually, ito rin yung potential difference across the inductor. So siya yung VAB. Okay? Siya yung VAB. At least yung magnitude. Okay? At least yung magnitude. Okay? So yan yung potential difference across the inductor. Okay? So this is one way. So ito na yung way natin para makuha yung voltage. So if you recall from sa resistors, para makuha yung voltage, kailangan, ano yung kailangan natin? Ohm's law. Right? Ohm's law. Sa capacitance, para makuha yung potential difference across the capacitor, yung galing sa charge, Q over V. For the inductor, para makuha natin yung potential difference, we use Faraday's law. Okay. Okay ba yan? So, yan yun. Okay. So, yan yun. So, let's focus here sa potential difference. So, again, pwede natin itong applyan ng Lenz's law. Okay? So, suppose we have constant current. So, kung constant yung current, then yung change in the current is 0. Right? So, hindi nagbabago eh. So, yung change ay 0. So, kung 0 to, 0 din to. So, 0 yung induced EMF. Right? So, for a constant current, 0 yung potential difference. Okay? Kapag increasing yung current, again, kapag increasing yung current, so applyan natin ng Lenz's law. So if we have a current in this direction, increasing, so we retain so first we point our thumb on the direction of the current. Kapag increasing, we retain that direction ng thumb. And then apply Lenz's law. So dapat opposite nun yung induced EMF. Okay? So kung increasing yung current, then the induced EMF should be opposite the direction of the current. Yun lang yun. Tapos, pwede nating isulat yung positive side at negative side. Right? So yung positive side, nandun sa head ng induced EMF, tapos yung negative side nandun sa tail. Okay? Nandun sa tail. Okay? So, if decreasing naman yung current, so ngayon, ang current direction to the right pa din. Kung decreasing yung current, then i-opposite natin. So, yung thumb natin, ibabalik na rin natin. And then by Lenz's law, babalik na rin ulit natin yung direction ng thumb, which will now tell us the direction of the induced EMF. Okay? So, in that case, decreasing current, ganito yung same yung direction ng induced EMF sa current, sa source. Okay? So, balik na din yung poles. Balik na din yung polarity. Okay? So, actually, ito, apply nyo lang Lenz's law. Apply nyo lang Lenz's law. Step 1, place your thumb on the direction of the current. Then, either retain kung increasing, reverse kung decreasing, tapos apply Lenz's law, i-reverse mo lang ulit. Whatever yung nasa step 2. Okay? So, ganun lang lagi. Okay? So, for example, current I flowing to the right across the inductor. It is observed that the potential at B is higher than A. So, kung potential dito ay higher, so siya yung positive, si A yung negative. So, that means yung EMF should be in this direction. So, since same direction sila, the current should be decreasing. Okay? So, ganun lang. Same as this. So, kung same direction, decreasing yung current. Okay? So, pwede ring pabaliktad. Okay? Malinaw? Okay? So, yung inductance, ang ginagawa niya talaga is to oppose the rate of change of the current. Okay? So, yung LDIdt natin, dito ko na lang ilagay. Right? Ito yung Ohm's law, right? Ito yung Ohm's law natin. LDIdt. Okay? So, kapag yung rate of change of current is small, kapag itong DIdt ay mababa, kailangan mo ng mataas na inductance para ma-maintain yung potential difference. So, sabihin natin V2, potential difference. Okay? Kapag naman mataas yung rate of change ng current, kailangan mababa yung inductance para ma-maintain yung V. So, gusto mo lagi ma-maintain yung voltage difference. Bakit? Kasi, yung mga devices natin, okay, hindi nila kaya mag-handle ng voltage difference greater than kung ano yung kaya nila. So, for example, nagla-laptop ka, naglalaro ka, or I don't know, gumagawa ka ng project, nagde-desktop. Tapos biglang nag-brown out. So, yung rate of change ng current, decreasing. Diba? May current ka, bigla nag-brown out, so nawala yung kuryente, naging zero yung kuryente. So, yung change of current mo, decreasing, pero biglaan. So, ngayon, si desktop, para hindi masira, kailangan niyang i-maintain yung potential difference V. So, kailangan mo ng mataas na L to counter, mataas na inductance to counter that change in current. Okay? Kasi yung current, hindi ko pa yata nasabi to before. Yung current kasi, ang definition natin ng current ay, ano ulit yung definition? NQVDA. Right? NQVDA. And this current, so proportional siya sa velocity, right? This current, ano ba yan? Pag pinasok natin sa Ohm's law or sa Faraday's law or something, proportional din siya sa voltage. So meaning yung voltage natin ay proportional. Bakit ba? So yung meaning yung voltage natin proportional sa V. Okay? But V ay sa velocity, sa speed. Okay, sa speed. But yung V natin, tong potential na to, sabi natin, ito yung electromotive force. Ito yung parang force na nagpupush sa electrons or sa charges natin para mag-move throughout the circuit. Okay? If you have a force na function, bakit ba nag-change? If you have a force that is a function of the speed or of the velocity, ito ay mga friction. So ito yung mga friction, drag force, air drag. So lahat ng mga to ay mga frictional force. Okay, or drag forces. Which means kapag nag-act siya sa object, yung kinetic energy nako-convert into thermal energy or heat. Kaya kapag nag-slide ka ng something tapos may friction, mainit. Nagiging heat kasi yung kinetic energy. Okay? That's because of this. So anything na may V, any force na dependent sa velocity. So halimbawa nag-slide ka ng dalawang objects tapos may friction, right? So kung ano man yung amount, kung gaano kabilis ka nag-slide, ganun din kataas yung friction. Diba? Ganun din kainit yung nararamdaman mo. Huwag niyo i-try sa floor pero masakit siya sa balat. Pero pwede niyo siguro i-try. Pero yun. Pero kung mabagal lang yung pag-slide mo, mababa yung friction, hindi masyadong mainit yung mararamdaman mo. Right? So, yun yung friction. And current, since function siya ng velocity, ng charges, it works like a friction. It works like a friction. So, doon sa loob ng wire, yung mga charges mo, habang nagmo-move sila with the constant velocity V, okay, kapag tumataas yung velocity, kapag tumataas yung speed, eto mga charges mo, parang nag-friction sila dun sa wire. Right? Para silang nag-slide dun sa wire with friction. So, nagiging heat ngayon yon, nag-iinit. So, kapag nag-init yung wire, masasunog, sasabog, puputok. Okay? What the inductance does is to oppose that rate of change. So, kung halimbawa nag-speed up yung velocity, so nag-speed up yung charges, so sabihin tumaas yung current, gagawin ng inductors, wait lang, wag ka munang tumaas. Kailangan nating mag-maintain ng ganitong potential difference. So, ang gagawin niya, i-oppose niya ngayon yung change na yon para hindi ganon kalala yung effect ng rate of change. So, yun yung gagawin ng inductor. So, later sa LC, makikita nyo kung paano nag-work yun. So, ang ginagawa ng inductor, binabaliktad niya yung current, yung direction ng current. Kaya yung induced current direction or induced EMF, baliktad. Okay? So, yun yung ginagawa ng inductor. Para hindi masunog or para hindi tumaas yung friction masyado. Okay? So, yun yung analog ng inductance sa Physics 71. Okay? Para siyang nagka-counter ng friction. Okay? Linaw ba? Okay ba yun? Okay. Baka kasi natatanong nyo, bakit kailangan ko ba itong inductor na to? Bakit may ganito? Doon siya galing, sa concept na yun, sa idea na yun. Okay. And syempre, nagagamit natin siya kasi kung walang inductors, magkonting brownout lang, or even lightning strikes. So kapag tinamaan yung power lines nyo ng lightning, tataas yung voltage, dadami yung charges, di ba? Magcha-charge up. So, magcha-charge up, tataas yung change in current, yung rate of change in current, pwedeng sumabog yung devices. Okay. So, imagine, kung napanood nyo na yung sa Marvel, so imagine nung tinamaan ni Thor ng lightning si Iron Man. So, si Iron Man, since magaling siya, alam niya yung mga circuit, engineer siya, ganyan, nilagyan niya ng mataas na inductance yung suit niya para kapag charge up siya, kaya niyang i-oppose yung rate of change ng current and then i-store niya na lang yung charge. Diba? Sinabi niya, I'm now fully charged up. Thank you, diba? Something like that. Hindi ko alam kung naalala niyo yung scene na yun. Anyway. So, ganun yan. Ganun yan nangyayari. Okay. So, yun. Inductors prevent rapid changes in current. And yung main application, especially, is in lightning strikes on power and transmission lines. Okay? Okay? Questions? May question ba? Clear naman, malinaw naman yung concept ng inductance. So, yung dalawang inductance, self and mutual inductance. Okay? So, let's have a more concrete example. So, suppose we have the self-inductance, we have a solenoid with N turns and cross-sectional area A, length L. We are asked to show that the self-inductance is this formula. Okay. So actually, same lang yan ang ginawa natin kanina. Inside the solenoid, apply lang natin yung magnetic field. Ipasok natin dun sa magnetic flux. So we have this. So plug in natin to. And we get this. So again, yung current, mawawala. So self-inductance is still geometry dependent. Dependent siya sa area, sa number of turns, and sa length ng coil. Okay? So another example, we are given the self-inductance, which has a varying current given by this function. So what is di dt? What is the di dt after 1 second? And then what is the magnitude of the induced EMF? So kapag function yung current, so kunin nyo lang yung derivative, right? So derivative ng I sub t, derivative ng 8t squared, that's just 16t, derivative ng 2t, 2, derivative ng 14 or ng constant, 0. So di dt is just 16t plus 2. After 1 second, so evaluate mo lang tong di dt at 1 second, we get 18. So the induced EMF after 1 second, so ano yung induced EMF? We use Faraday's law. So magnitude naman yung tinatanong. So we use Faraday's law, L di dt at 1 second. So 18 times 0.5, that's just 9 volts. Okay. So plug and play na lang. So medyo kaya naman yan. Okay. Hindi na yan. Kaya nyo na yan. Okay? Now, let's move on to another familiar concept, yung energy stored naman. Energy stored naman in an inductor. So actually, medyo nakita nyo na to before. Parang nakita nyo na to before. If you recall yung energy stored in the capacitor, this is the electric energy, right? 1/2, ano siya? 1/2 CV squared, right? 1/2 CV squared. So let's see, ano naman yung energy stored in the inductor? So we can use yung induced EMF, self-induced EMF. Tanggalin ko muna to. Okay. And then the power delivered, which is just the voltage over time, voltage times current. So this is the power delivered, yung IV or I squared R. Plug in lang natin yung V, get this. And so the energy stored should be equivalent to power times time. Kasi yung power natin is just energy over time. So tama pala. Power is energy over time. Okay? So yung power, right? So this is equal sa change in the potential energy over time. Okay? So du is just P dt. So ito ay mapupunta lang doon para makuha nyo to. And then plug in nyo yung power, we get this, and we have Li di. Okay? Then we integrate both sides. We integrate both sides. So here sa left-hand side, meron ka na lang U. Sa right-hand side, meron kang L, constant, and then integral I di. That's just 1/2 I squared. Right? 1/2 I squared. So yan na yung potential energy stored in the inductor. 1/2 Li squared. Okay? So that's the total energy supplied when the current increases from 0 to a final value I. So i-compare natin dun sa stored in the capacitor. So yung stored in the capacitor, that's just 1/2 CV squared. Right? CV squared. So meron kang capacitance, meron kang inductance. Okay? Now, yung energy stored in the capacitor, actually energy stored in the electric field yon. Okay? Ito, yung energy stored na to is actually stored in the magnetic field within the coil. Okay? So this is stored in the electric field inside the capacitor. This is stored in the magnetic field inside the coil. Okay? Kung constant yung current, yung I, edi wala kang energy flow. Okay? Kailangan dito, changing yung current. Again, yung inductance galing sa changing current. Okay? So if we compare with other components, so sa resistor, energy is dissipated. Right? So a resistor, para siyang may friction, right? Kasi ina-allow niya lang yung current. So wala siyang ginagawa sa current. Right? Ina-allow niya lang yung current. So may friction as current passes through the resistor. Yun yung nagiinit. Kaya nagiinit yung component. Dahil dun sa parang friction or yung current na yon. Tapos yung heat na yon, hindi mo na ma-recover. Na-dissipate na siya. So mahirap i-recover yung heat. Okay? Hindi natin siya magamit. Now, for the inductor, energy stored but on the magnetic field. Okay? So, yung may store mo na energy, pwede mo magamit. Okay? So, hindi lang sa capacitors nag-i-store ng energy, sa inductors din. Okay? And since meron tayong magnetic energy, we can also define our magnetic energy density. So, for any density is just the something over space, something over volume, something over area, or something over length. So, in vacuum, we have that. And kung may magnetic material, we have this. Okay? So, if you compare yung magnetic field energy yung electric energy density, ano siya? 1/2 epsilon naught E squared. Okay? So, halos same ng form. May 1/2 proportional sa square ng field. Ang pinakaiba lang, yung constant. So, ito nasa baba, ito nasa taas. Nasa numerator, nasa denominator. Same with this. Okay, so ganun lang din. Pero it works the same. It works the same. Okay? So, wala namang bago dito masyado. So, kung gusto makita yung derivation, nandun naman sa slides. Hindi ko na-explain yon. Algebra naman yan, so plug and play lang yan. Okay? So, kaya nyo nang gawin yan. So, let's provide just some a few last examples. So, a solenoid, 25 centimeters long, contains this area and 400 turns, and then meron siyang current 80 amperes. And we are asked to find this 4. So, actually, since mabilis lang to kasi plug and play lang tayo. So, kung alam natin yung formula ng magnetic field ng solenoid, then we can do the rest. Okay? So, magnetic field ng solenoid, mu naught Ni, where N is turn density, I is the current. So, that's just N over L times I. Alam na natin yung N, yung L, saka I. So, plug in lang natin, we get this. Energy density is just B squared over 2 mu naught. So, kailangan lang natin yung magnetic field. Strength. So, alam na natin yon. Plug in our values and we get this. Okay. So, mabilis lang. Madali na lang to. Total energy, we can get from the other definition ng energy density. Right? So, energy density is potential over volume. Okay? Pero alam na natin yung U kanina. Yung volume is just area times L. So, ito yon. So, plug in our values and we get that potential energy. Okay? And for the inductance, just use yung energy stored in the inductor. Kasi alam naman natin yung current and we get this. Okay? Questions so far? Questions? Okay? So, last example, given tayo nung stored energy and inductance, ano yung current? So, gamitin lang natin yung 1/2 Li squared. So, alin nahanap yung current, alam natin yung U at L. So, plug and play lang, we get 12 amperes. Okay? So, again, similar sa electricity part, yung mga later discussions, medyo plug and play na lang sila. Okay? So, ito, nakita na natin yung form before, iba lang yung context. Okay? So, yun na yung last. Okay? So, in summary, today, ginamit natin yung Faraday's law to define mutual inductance and self-inductance. Okay? And nakita natin that yung definition nila is independent of the current but dependent on the geometry. Okay? Geometry dependent, similar to the resistance and capacitance. Okay? And then same yung form ng mga magnetic field energy and energy density. Okay? And just remember, yung energy stored, itong potential energy, na-store on the fields, not on the circuit, not on the component. Sa field sila na-store. Okay? Yung field generated by that component. Okay? Either the electric field or the magnetic field. Okay? If you want, kung gusto niyo ng drama, gusto niyo makaalam ng drama, merong search niyo yung the biggest misconceptions in electricity sa YouTube. So by Veritasium. So kung kilala niyo si Veritasium. May drama doon kasi may series of, basahin niyo din yung comments. So parang karon sila ng debate kung bakit saan ba nasa-save yung energy? Bakit bigla na lang magla-light up yung light bulb, 'di ba? Yung mga ganun. Yeah. Palagi nasa FB feed ko. Yeah. So yun, maganda yun. Try niyong panoorin. Magigets niyo siya actually. Magigets. I think magigets niyo naman. And then may mga answers yung ibang YouTubers about yung inaano ni Veritasium. Pero kasi galing talaga yun sa concept na um, energy is stored in the field, not in the circuit, not in the component. Okay. Okay. So yun. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. So actually personally, helpful yung manood ng mga YouTube channels kahit yung Veritasium, PBS, ganyan, SciShow. Although syempre ang binibigay nila conceptual, parang medyo layman's term ng discussion, walang masyadong formula. Okay lang naman yon. Kasi once that you have learned the formula, everything will now make sense. Like legit. Kahit ako, I'm still learning. So, ayoko kasi na blindly lang tayong naniniwala sa equation na, okay, I just know this equation, I don't know where is this from. Okay? So, mas maganda na alam mo yung concept in the layman's term. Parang for me, yun yung mas, pag naintindihan mo yun, okay, so, I know that this will happen when this something, blah, blah, blah. Then, apply natin ng math or ng physics, then, okay, so that makes sense. Kaya pala friction is converted into heat. Kaya pala ganito, ganyan. Oo, 'di ba? So, naging interesting ang math videos kasi naintindihan mo na yung formula. So, ganun naman talaga. Okay. So, if you just learn about the formulas, kulang siya. So, you should separately learn yung discussion muna. Like, discussion muna and then apply yung physics or yung math. Then, everything follows. Okay? Okay? So, may mga tanong din before like, bakit big deal yung room temp semiconductor, 'di ba? May mga news na ganyan. Bakit big deal tong ganito, ganyan. So, if you understand more about semiconductors, conductance or resistivity, conductivity, you will learn kung bakit mahirap gawin ang room temp superconductor. Kung bakit pag may scientist na nag-claim, we discovered this, medyo lahat like, 'di ba parang, totoo ka ba? Parang imposible 'yan. Pero, mga gano'ng stuff. So, 'yan. So, I suggest manood din kayo. Kahit hindi naman kailangan intindihin fully kasi layman's naman yung discussion. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. So, kung walang questions, so yun muna for today. I'm thinking kung mag-announce ulit ng something tomorrow, So, hindi natin mache-checkan yung DQ, right? So, baka mag-lecture na lang muna. So, either ganito ulit, Zoom, or mag-upload na lang ako ng recording. Okay? So, baka gano'n na lang. Tapos next week, practice problems na lang siguro. So, if ever, yun nga, mag-upload na lang ako hanggang lecture 25 na. Para next week, practice problems na lang yung i-discuss natin. So, imbis na ipa-DQ ko, i-practice problem na lang natin. Yung for next week. Okay? So, yun na lang yung naisip ko. Okay? Okay lang ba yun? Okay lang ba yun? So, sasagutan natin sabay-sabay. Sasagutan natin sabay-sabay yung DQs next week. Okay? So, gano'n na lang. Okay? Okay. So, sana may face-to-face class na kasi gusto ko na kayong makita. Ang hirap ng ganito. Yeah. Mas gusto ko pa rin na face-to-face kaysa online. Okay. Anyway, so that's it for today. Same. Oh, yeah. So that's it for today. Upload ko na lang yung recording sa YouTube. And then I'll see you tomorrow, either online or face-to-face. I'm not sure. Siguro by the end of the day, may announcement. Okay? So, yun lang. Yeah, so thank you for coming today. Okay, bye-bye.